Hej, witam serdecznie w kolejnym materiale z gry Mass Effect Andromeda. W tym odcinku przepytamy pozostałą ekipę dowódczą w Nexusie, plus jeszcze naukowców, no i postaramy się zagadać z naszym sabem, czyli z wszczepem. Ale najpierw naukowcy oczywiście. I profesor Herrick. Aha, tylko profesor Herrick tutaj jest do zagadania.
You must be the Pathfinder. Wonderful. You and your Sam are exactly what we need.
Thanks, Mr.
Professor Herrick, my colleagues and I will work with your Sam and the data you gather to solve Andromeda's scientific mysteries.
What fields do you study?
Herrick's into life sciences. I do planetary geology, oceanography, rocks and runoff. Aradona's the
Turianie
space
jak
map.
zawsze konkretni.
Not that we've had much to study, with everyone cooped up for 14 months.
But your data on the Scourge flows like poetry. Now we can better advise on repairing the damage it caused.
And maybe Addison will give us a real workspace. Who can think with all this racket?
Hi, Pathfinder. Want to hit some rocks for science?
I'm in.
Absolutely. What do you need?
Sam and I used your scans and made a VI for geophysics surveys. Beta builds on the console there. Test it out in the field, and I'll wrangle you a consultant's bonus from Director Addison. How's that sound?
Okej, czyli to są chyba misje poboczne.
Pathfinder, those bioscans are superb. Could you gather more for our comparative conservation effort?
What conservation effort?
Ah, my thesis is on the console there. Broad strokes, we're comparing and preserving organisms from both galaxies. If you donate more bioscans and samples to the catalog, I can get you a finder's fee. Tempted?
Okej, czyli zbieramy kasiorę pewnie na ulepszenie jakieś.
Pathfinder, we've had some trouble.
Anything I can help with?
Perhaps. I discharged an away team to get readings from a section of the Scourge that was behaving anomalously. They haven't reported in for some time, and sensors can't locate their shuttle. I sent them out there. Good, dedicated people. I fear what might have happened to them.
Your
Skup
work
się.
is important. Don't lose sight of that. When I'm out there, I'll see if I can find them.
Their friends and family will want to know what's happened, and I need to know.
Okej. Coś jeszcze?
The beauty of the cosmos unfolds in your planet scans, Pathfinder.
No, jeszcze
But there's
dodatkowa
more they
misja.
can do.
Do you have something in mind, Doctor?
Plans for a school are underway to inspire a new generation of young minds. I want to craft a model of the cluster for them, accurate and splendid from your data. My prototype is on that console. Add more scans to improve it, and I will share my educational budget with you. And my thanks.
Wdzięczność Asari. To dobry temat. No, tutaj jest ta konsola. Ostateczna propozycja. Profesor N. Herrick i inni. A, katalogi nasion oraz rejestru DNA i tak dalej, czyli bierzemy misję. A, czyli dodatkowe misje. Wszystkie. Nakładam, że... A, są wzięte. Skanuj minerały, skanuj planety i tak dalej. No dobra. Lecimy teraz do naszego nieudanego dyrektora, który leczy kompleksy z powodu, jak już wiemy, byciem 8 w kolejce do dowodzenia. Został prezesem, można powiedzieć, z przypadku. Znaczy, zaraz się dowiemy. Ciekaw jestem, co ma nam do powiedzenia.
Ryder, you may have a less than flattering view of me, but I want to express my condolences for your father.
I appreciate it.
I didn't know him very well, although I understand he played a key role in planning the initiative. I'm sure he'd be concerned that we still have several arks missing.
Any idea where they went?
Nothing certain, but tens of thousands of colonists are unaccounted for. It paints the initiative in an unflattering light. Did you have some other business?
As director of the initiative, are you in charge around here or what?
Zobaczymy. To
If
już
the
był ten
others would
dialog.
allow me, they don't see me as the rightful
A,
successor.
czyli jednak pojawiły się nowe opcje. No nic dziwnego. Skąd te wątpliwości, panie
What's their
kolego?
problem with you?
I am not Gian Garson. Our founder was charismatic, eccentric, larger than life. Traits I cannot hope to mimic. She and her inner circle perished in the Scourge, some at the hands of the Exiles, some never made it out of stasis. I was deputy assistant for revenue management. Then all 7 leaders above me died. I was next in line for the role.
Czyli księgowy.
So, you're an accountant?
Don't let that fool you. We are all capable of more than we know. When I was young, I was fascinated by the idea of exploring space. Life had its detours, and I went a different direction. Then I heard about the initiative, and saw my chance to try the path not taken. While I may not be setting foot on new worlds, my authority can ensure that you do.
Right. Sorry. So how does anything get done?
In theory, Kesh handles the Nexus's physical operations, Kandros runs the militia, and Addison manages colonial affairs. I oversee all of it. In practice, we argue, debate, and yell at each other until a decision is made. If we're lucky. It is maddening.
No, z takim dyrektorem na pewno. To już chyba były te rzeczy.
What more can you tell me about the initiative?
It represents the greatest migration ever attempted. No one had ventured beyond the Milky Way before. We've all left home in search of freedom, fortune, perhaps a new beginning. We are the bravest souls each species has to offer. I hope the Nexus will serve as the seat of government for us all.
Albo nie, tutaj pojawiły się nowe dialogi. No
What do
dobra,
you know
to
about the early
jedziemy.
days of the initiative?
As most everyone knows, Gian Garson's vision made it happen. She was an entrepreneur on Earth. Wealthy. Young for a human. Garson had the idea for the initiative in the early 2170s, I believe. Many thought leaving the Milky Way was impossible. But she persevered. And as with most great ideas, the doubters were wrong.
Why do you think most people came?
There are thousands of reasons, one for every colonist here. What does any pilgrim seek? Usually, happiness. Finding the thing that eludes them, the thing to fulfill them. While we cannot promise they will find it, we can facilitate the search.
It looks like a melting pot around here.
The Nexus is home to several initiative species. Many came ahead of the arks. The hope is that this station will one day serve as the governing body in Andromeda. Though I'm not sure what they were thinking, lumping Krogan into the mix. As a Solarian, my kind tend to have a low opinion of them. Nothing I've seen here has changed that.
Why don't you like the Krogan?
It's common knowledge that they are a violent, ignorant species. Long ago, they waged nuclear war on one another. Their planet was decimated. My people tried to uplift them, but the Krogan could never tame their worst instincts. What if they bring their tempers to Andromeda? We'll all be dead.
To prawda z tą historią. Jest to fajnie przypomniane to, co się działo w jedynce, bo tam też to było przedstawione, że Kroganie, kurde, nie dość, że się prawie wytłukli u siebie, to jeszcze potem rozlali się na całą galaktykę i właśnie Salarianie, zdaje się, z Turianami ich powstrzymali.
It sounds like the Nexus has had a rough time of it.
Publicly, I would say we're more than up for the challenge. Privately, I can tell you, it's been a disaster. The Scourge killed hundreds, many of them our senior leadership. Even the founder of the initiative, Gian Garson, is dead.
No, zobaczcie, on ma jakby dwie twarze. Jedno to jest taka twarz dla wszystkich, a teraz prywatnie mówi, chciałem powiedzieć, ludzkim głosem. Jak na obcego to całkiem nieźle, ale generalnie nie przepadam za typem. Taki cwaniaczek, który wycycka wszystkich w imię własnych korzyści.
How did Jean Garson die?
With the rest of the leadership, when the Nexus hit the Scourge, a large wing of stasis pods was destroyed. They were killed instantly. These people traveled 600 years and died before they even woke up. Jean Garson never glimpsed Helios. She never saw her vision realized.
No ale i tak doprowadziła tutaj wszystkich.
Kandros mentioned something about hitting the Scourge. How did it play out?
Criminal elements took advantage of the emergency and preyed on people's fears. An uprising followed. We had no choice but to turn to the Krogan to deal with them. They crushed the mutiny and the criminals were banished. Exiles, we call them. I doubt we've heard the last of them. They're led by an outlaw, Sloane Kelly. She used to be one of ours.
No, element przestępczy, od razu widać, że gościu, kurde, ma propagandę wbitą do głowy i wcale mi się nie wydaje, że ci wygnańcy nie mieli racji. No, ciekawa będzie ta historia dalej. Zobaczymy, co tam powie o Sloane Kelly.
She was head of security on the Nexus. She opposed the uprising at first, but eventually turned traitor and joined them. Misguided sympathy for the plight of the common citizen? Nonsense. They posed a direct threat to our existence.
There don't seem to be many Krogan around.
Good riddance. The Krogan demanded a greater say in political matters. The last place you want them involved. Their muscle, nothing more. Good for fighting and lifting heavy objects. When they didn't get what they wanted, they left.
Może o arkach
Any
coś
more
więcej
information you
powie.
can give me on the missing arks?
No, and that is the distressing part. The Asari, Turian, and Solarian arcs are completely unaccounted for. If they had the same problems with the Scourge that we did, I fear the worst. Should you find any clues, please investigate. Without the other arcs, the promise of the initiative can never be fulfilled.
To w ogóle się nie martwi kolonistami, kurczę, tylko się martwi
Are there any
obietnicami
other arks we should
inicjatywy.
expect?
We had hoped Quarians
Korpo
would be
szczura.
part of the first wave, but before departure in 2185, we got word they had technical problems with their ship. It seems they're also bringing along Drell, Hanar, and other species as well. Managing all of their biological needs caused complications. We won't see them for some time to come.
Jak to nie będzie rodziny Talizory?
What do I need to consider in
Szkoda.
making a planet viable?
Assuming the planet supports life, an outpost is critical. People like a roof over their heads, and you'll want to eliminate any hostile threats. Whether that's the cat or other terrors lurking in Helios, colonists being murdered on sight can be discouraging. Also, scouting and mapping terrain is a priority for any Pathfinder. And don't forget forward stations. You'll want those.
What can you tell me about forward stations?
I was afraid you'd ask. It's mostly what the engineers tell me. A forward station allows mining, equipment repairs, and resupply for field teams. I mean, who wouldn't want that? But seeing as how every colonization effort has failed, it's just theory at the moment. You get to test it out, Ryder.
Okej.
That's all. Thanks for your time.
Of course, as you pointed out, we need each other. Our futures depend on each other's success.
Nie jestem przekonany, że ten Air Director jest nam potrzebny. Jeszcze pójdziemy tutaj. A, tu chyba nic nie ma. Okej. Czyli wszystko już mamy ogarnięte. Babeczka u góry też. No dobra, to czas polecieć, pogadać z Samem. Jeszcze obejdziemy sobie ten rejon. Może tam coś też uda się nam odkryć. Jakichś potencjalnych rozmówców. Handlarz bronią. O, przedmioty handlarza. Krzyżowiec, kurczę, poznaję tą broń. Niestety nie stać mnie na tę fuzję. Już podejrzewam, że w krótkim czasie nasza kieszeń zapełni się sianem. No czekajcie, może moje przedmioty, czyli mogę jakieś tam rzeczy posprzedawać. A póki co sobie to wszystko zostawimy. Sierżant Aker.
Help you?
Pathfinder
Help
Ryder,
me?
here to see Nilken Rensis.
A, ten morderca.
Wife's here all the time. Guess she told you her sob story. Nilken, you're moving up in the world. There's a Pathfinder wanting to chat with you.
A Pathfinder, huh? They called in the big guns to exile Andromeda's first murderer.
I'm not here to exile you. Told your wife I'd look into things.
At this point, it's too late. They found me guilty.
Why don't you tell me what happened?
I was part of the futile effort to set up a colony on Eos. We were on our last legs, overrun by hostiles, our leader dead. The security chief, Reynolds, my friend. He refused to call for evacuation. I argued with him. Everyone saw.
So when he was killed, people assumed you did it?
For good reason. He ordered us to regroup and counterattack. We were moving through a sandstorm. I saw movement, thought it was the Ket, and I guess I panicked and fired. A witness saw the chief's chest explode.
Sounds like an accident.
That's what I told them. But I was enraged when we argued. There's a recording. It's ugly. Everyone's certain I did it on purpose so we could evacuate. Only my word otherwise.
No, zobaczymy.
I'll check out the evidence. Maybe something doesn't add up.
It'd be nice to have someone with an open mind looking at it. You're a Pathfinder. I'm sure Kandros would give you access. Maybe there's still hope.
Możliwe.
Weapons and stuff. I got you covered. Use the console to take a look through what I got. It'd be a lot easier if I weren't missing half my stock.
Skąd te ceny?
Ouch. Why am I paying for these?
Half the supplies are inaccessible, what with how we crash landed and all. And I have to trade with the crooks out there for the rest, so...
No dobra. Trochę drogo, zdecydowanie. Podejdziemy jeszcze do Kandrosa załatwić tą sprawę.
No news on the Turian Ark yet? Or is this militia business?
Nie, chodzi o
I spoke with
morderstwo.
Nilken Rensis, the man found guilty of the murder on Eos.
Yes, our first murder here in Andromeda. I wish it had been our last. When the colony attempts failed, it didn't help spirits that a high-ranking officer was killed by one of our own. The mutiny here on Nexus was probably inevitable, but this acted as a spark.
So there was a trial and he was found guilty?
It was short and decisive. Despite the lack of physical evidence, everything added up.
A, czyli nie ma
His only
dowodów.
defense was, trust me, I didn't mean to do it.
That is the difference between murder and accidental death.
In this case, motive plus opportunity plus eyewitness account equals murder. Look, knock yourself out. A key witness, Cassidy Shaw, works in operations. Go ahead and talk to her. And there's a recording of the perpetrator threatening the victim. I'll let you cue it up on the console there. As far as I'm concerned, this case is closed.
Bye, Kandros. Duty calls.
You and me both, Pathfinder.
Okej. Datapad. Po roczniku, sądząc po raporcie 16C, wygląda na to, że wciąż daleko nam do zdobycia przyczółka w dowolnym sektorze. Nie dysponujemy rzetelnym zwiadem i wystarczającą ilością informacji o naszym wrogu. W związku z tym zaczynam myśleć, że nasze wysiłki są daremne. Ciągła strata zasobów i żołnierzy sprawia, że ciężko usprawiedliwić podejmowane przez nas ryzyko. Na niskim morale musimy raz jeszcze obniżyć nasze oczekiwania. Kandros. Dobra, zobaczymy, gdzie jest ta konsola. Chętnie tego posłucham. Tutaj są te grupy uderzeniowe i tak dalej, i tak dalej. Tu mamy nagranie. Zobaczymy, jak to się, na jaką całość to się
Nexus
składa.
versus Colonist Nilken, evidence 7A.
Hiram! Hiram! They've seized the compound! Call for evacuation!
We're not giving up, Nilken. We're taking it back.
No! I'm not letting your ego get us killed! Even if I have to...
No! Get him off me! Get him off me!
Tram technicians, please report to the Hyperion coupling annex.
Notice the hand of the...
Okej.
felicits.
You'd be surprised. There's also Vervine in the seed bay.
Polecimy jeszcze do Cassidy. Coś na mnie po drodze do sama. Kto to? Człowiek.
Cassidy Shaw? I'm Ryder. I'm looking into the Nilken murder case.
Oh man, I thought that was over with. Have you heard the audio recording of their fight?
Yes.
I helped pull him off Chief Reynolds. You could see it in his eyes. He was gonna kill him. Then in the sandstorm, I had a pretty clear view of the chief. He looked right at Nilken and shouted no. Then his chest burst open. I'll never forget it. The look on his face was pure shock.
Did you see any cat in the vicinity?
Nilken said so, but not that I could see. Still, the sandstorm was severe. Visibility wasn't great.
Reynolds was leading you back to retake the compound. Did you agree with that?
It wasn't my place to agree or disagree. He was ranking officer. In retrospect, it is ironic. If he hadn't been killed, we all probably would have died.
Czyli generalnie on, zabijając szefa, uratował sytuację.
Did Nilken seem remorseful?
I lost sight of Nilken in the turmoil. When we found him, he seemed in shock. He couldn't speak. He looked nauseated. Could have been guilt. The reality of the act sinking in.
If they'd fought and Nilken threatened to kill him, why was Reynolds surprised?
Fronts fight, say things they don't mean, maybe even hurt each other. But you don't expect your best friend to shoot you. To me, that's the saddest part. The Chief's heart was broken right before it exploded.
I appreciate the information.
Of course. It kills me we had to leave him behind. He deserved a proper funeral.
So the body was never examined? Important piece of a murder investigation.
Tian wouldn't allow a mission to go back for him. Said it was too dangerous.
Czyli będziemy musieli odzyskać ciało. Skoczymy jeszcze do dyrektora, żeby załatwić sprawę. Żeby mieć komplet po prostu informacji.
Something I can help you with?
I'm looking into the Nilken-Rensis murder charge.
And?
I want to go to EOS and retrieve Chief Reynolds' body.
That isn't usually Pathfinder business.
First murder in Andromeda, and I'm impartial. Figured you'd want to get it right.
Settling an outpost comes first. But I suppose I have no objections. Physical evidence will only bolster the case.
The more certain we can be, the better.
All right, but let's keep it quiet. I don't want people thinking we're reopening the case. I hope anything you find reaffirms what's been done, but if it sheds a different light, we'll deal with it. We'll send the coordinates of the murder scene. Good luck.
Okej.
That's all.
Widzę, że,
Thanks for your time.
I'm here to serve.
że dyrektorowi nie do końca jest po drodze z tym, żebyśmy na przykład uniewinnili tego podejrzanego Turianina. No ale przynajmniej mamy komplet informacji. Jeśli będziemy ruszać na EOS, no to na pewno zahaczymy o to miejsce zbrodni, bo to ciało będzie warto, myślę, zbadać. Dobrze, słuchajcie, nie udało się nam w tym odcinku dotrzeć do Sama i z nim pogadać. Miejmy nadzieję, że uda się nam dotrzeć w odcinku następnym, do którego obejrzenia oczywiście Was zapraszam, ale to oczywiście już wkrótce. Grał dla Was Łosiu, a to był Mass Effect Andromeda. Do zobaczenia. Cześć!